Well, this morning, as you can see, I have help. Puts his tears up. And, well, first of all, I just want to say I am completely blown away and overwhelmed to the response to the video yesterday. Thank you all so much. I am just, I don't even know what to say. And tears up. This isn't going to work if you don't let mommy do it, okay? Yeah. So, what I felt God laid on my heart today to share is about chaos. My husband has been telling me for a long time that everything I do is chaotic, and I realize it's true. You know, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Nothing's ever quite what you want it to be, and as clean as you want it to be, and as tidy as you want it to be, and no matter how much you organize, it doesn't seem like you ever make any headway. So I've been struggling with this for, well, years. And I had been praying about it a lot more seriously in the last few months. And I started, and a slight digression here, but it's all part of the picture. God has spoken to me through numbers before, but much more recently, He has spoken to me through numbers a lot more. Like a bunch of times recently, I keep seeing the same numbers, and I'll go look them up on a biblical numerology website or something, and it's God telling me something. And I'm like, okay. So I'm a little dense.
I don't want to do this.
Well, tears up. It won't take very long, but if we do this, then we can go do something else, okay?
Oh, it's beautiful.
No, we're not watching a movie right now. Excuse the 3-year-old here. So I would look them up on a biblical numerology website, and a lot of times it was God saying something to me. So how this has worked is usually it's like I will notice a pattern after a while of every time I look at the clock. I will see the same numbers over and over and over. So I kept seeing 222. I would look at the clock and it was 222. This happened for several weeks, and after 3 or 4 times of this happening, I was like, "It 222. Okay, God, what are you trying to tell me with 222?" So I went and looked it up. And I don't have my notebook in front of me, so I can't tell you the exact details of what. I may actually have to look it up. But the gist of it was 22 particularly is excessive chaos and disorder. And I'm like, what in the world? This is not encouraging. This is not very fun. I'm like, what are you, what is this? At first I was a little discouraged. I'm like, what is this? So I prayed on it for a few days, and I'm like, okay, God, show me, what is this you're saying? And He showed me that there is a spirit of chaos and disorder, and that in my case it was generational. Oh, now you get to see the kitty. Okay, they don't need to see the kitty anymore. Okay, put him down. That in my case it was generational, that this thing had been there all my life, and I didn't know any different. I had told my husband many times that, I told my husband many times, I'm like, I don't know what it looks like to not be this way. All my life, it's always been disorder and chaos. And so I was like, okay, God, what am I supposed to do about this? So I had always said, well, this is normal. Like, that's mom life, right? Hashtag mom life. Everything's disorder and chaos. we can't get anything done because the kids are always messing it back up, and you name it, that's the way things are. So I had kind of just excused it off to that. And then God showed me that this is not just normal, that it is a supernatural influence in our lives. And I'm like, okay, God, well, it seems like almost not everyone. There are a few shining examples, and they have all these children, and their house is ordinary and clean and tidy, and I'm sure we've all seen those. But it's like, how in the world do they do that? And so I just had... My husband's walking through. I'm a little distracted here. So I was praying about it, and I'm like, okay, God, this seems normal to me. Almost everybody I know is this way. Some are, worse, some are better, but there's a large element of this in most moms I know. And I felt like he showed me that it's become... Well, I'm really sorry about that, but you don't need to whine at Mama. But that he showed me that it's become an accepted thing, at least in America, and that, yes, a lot of people are under the influence of this spirit of chaos and disorder and don't know it because it's just normal life. It's what you call a familiar spirit, because we're familiar with it, so we just accept it. So, long story short, basically, I prayed about it. I rejected it. I asked God how to deal with it. I actually had prayer at church, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. I would dearly love to not have to deal with this chaos anymore. And since then, my husband finally acknowledges that I'm actually trying, believe it or not. And I have actually made headway that stayed there in getting my house organized and decluttered and keeping it tidy. And I would say I'm about 70% where I want it to be. And that's been about a month. And I am so excited. It's mind-blowing, because I have struggled so hard for this for so long. And I love revelations. So anyone else out there that might be struggling with Momlife Chaos, you don't have to live like that. Very excited to say. So, thank you all very much. And I will chat with you tomorrow, or when next God shows me something to share. So, y'all have a fabulous day. Say bye-bye to yourself. Can you say bye-bye? Yes. Can you smile? That's much better.